Roller coasters are changing forever. Are you ready to experience interstellar space travel? Galactica, the universe's first roller coaster fully dedicated to virtual reality. Journey beyond a ride. Galactica. Book now at HaltonTowers.com.
This is Galactica at Alton Towers. Wait. No, something doesn't seem right. Hold on. Now this is Galactica at Alton. No, something's not right about this either. Hold on. What's wrong? Yes, hold on. Let me just remove that and remove that. And now this is Galactica at Alton Towers. Look how unappealing that is. And I mean, now just look at this photo. Look how even more unappealing it looks. Yeah, that is the current state of Galactica and what Galactica should have been and what Galactica is now. But I'm not going to talk fully negatively in this video. I want to talk about the ride in its current state and the ride, what it could be in the future. Because I think, as you may have seen in my tier list video, which you haven't, go and check the tier list video out on the Alton Towers rides. I talk about where I put Galactica, and I put Galactica in a place where I think Galactica should stay. I don't think Galactica should be removed. Absolutely no way, no. I think it's a good enough ride to stay. It's a good stepping stone ride. It's a fun ride. It's a ride in which we don't really have anything like it in the UK, so it's a solid attraction to have at Alton Towers. What I think needs to change, though, is the direction in which the ride is going. And I think that is something that we should, that is what I'm going to discuss in this video, because I think the current state of the ride stands like this. What Alton Towers like to do on a regular basis is, we saw it with Jewel when it got changed to Curse at Alton Manor. We've seen it in the past where rides will get left to die off. They will look like they're not being cared for. They look like they haven't been I wasn't going to say maintained, because obviously they are safe, but they haven't been set to a higher standard as to other things around them. And I think that's what happened with Jewel, and we knew fine well that was because something was coming to Jewel, so they didn't want to splash loads of money into it because they were already doing that over the winter into the next season. However, with Galactica, I think there is a very similar thing going on. I think if we look at the ride state at the moment, as you saw in that image, and I'll put that image up again so you can see, the station at the moment is in a dire state. The house lights are on, so you can see every part of the very unappealing building, and not much theming in there at all. And you can see all of the steel corrugated building. The video is sometimes on, sometimes not, and the woman on the screen is talking about you going into space, but in reality you're just going through a portal into Alton Towers and then back into Alton Towers again. So the ride is in a state that the track needs to be either repainted or jet washed down. Same with the supports. Like, I walked past the support when I went to Towers the other day, and I mean, this video is coming off the back of me going to Towers for the fireworks. I went on Friday the 3rd of November for the fireworks, and I had a great time. Unfortunately, Oblivion was down all day, but that is a conversation for another video perhaps. But Galactica also had a lot of downtime on that day, which is another thing. But I think looking around the rides area, you could see that it was in that state where I think Towers have left it. They've gone, right, let's leave this, and let's attend to it over the winter and bring it back better next year. Because I think that's the case. That there's just the building that is, it's in dire need of an upgrade. It's in the station is in dire need of theming and an upgrade. The stickers on the outside of the station are practically peeled off by now. There is moss growing on the supports. The track is like black in some places. It's not an appealing thing to look at the moment, Galactica. But I think, as I've said, next year I think it's going to be a lot better. What I would like to see them do next year with Galactica, and what I think they will do, are possibly different things, could be the same. But I think what I would like to see them do is and what a lot of people have discussed, is putting Galactica in with this Nemesis reopening. I think having some form of re-theme in with, you know, Nemesis, the whole area being transformed into this Nemesis takeover of the Forbidden Valley and the creature awakening and back with a vengeance. I think that this is now the time. If this was ever the time to do something in Galactica, it would be this closed season. It would 100% be. Because realistically, right, I'm not asking you to build a completely new ride here, because we're not doing a Nemesis refurb, by all means. But I think what us enthusiasts want to see is a complete cleanup of the ride and the area around it. We want to see it integrated with the theme of Nemesis. I think what would be really cool, as I was saying, what I would like to see would be absolutely awesome if it was kind of like you are in these flying machines that are like fighting against the Nemesis creature. You know, you're flying around, you're dashing in between the rocks and the trees, and you're trying to fight off this beast, and it's coming at you, and it's, you know, attacking your back and all this. That'd be awesome if there was something like that. It'd be so cool, because it could be like, you could have it as like the Phalanx like weapons facility or something, or the Phalanx aerial facility. Something like that would be awesome, and I think that would work really well in Forbidden Valley. I think that would be something that it would do really well, because it needs, because the whole area of Forbidden Valley, as we can assume and as what we are seeing, is getting a massive overhaul in terms of its look. A lot of it's going black and red. A lot of the area is going to be updated. A lot of the signage is going to be updated. I think the Blade is also the one I feel for. But I know this isn't a video about the Blade, but I think the Blade is, when all this Nemesis stuff happens and say Galactica gets involved in it, then the Blade kind of slightly stands out a bit. It doesn't really fit in anymore, because Forbidden Valley used to be this Forbidden Valley of this kind of place where there's like, you know, something's creepy going on with Nemesis, and there's this old rustic sort of machinery, like this like swinging blades and the rip saw, and air was supposed to be kind of the paradise in the Forbidden Valley, the place where you could fly around between the rocks and stuff. But now there's a completely different direction for Forbidden Valley. It's a Nemesis takeover. It's the Phalanx taking over the area, and I think Galactica needs to be involved, and I'd love to see some form of like Phalanx facility down there, and it's like finding the Nemesis monsters and stuff. What I think they will do could be similar to that. It could very much be, if they want to go down that direction. I think that's a very logical thing for them to do. Or they will possibly do a slight re-theme, maybe not to fit in with the Nemesis Phalanx so much, but to make it so it's not flying through space, even though you're not flying through space anymore. And do a bit of a change up in that. I think something just needs to be done. I think an overall cleanup of the ride and then a re-theme, I think is exactly what Galactica needs. Because I think people want to see it, because I think there are big fans of Galactica out there, and I'm not a one that would rush to it straight away in the morning by any means at Alton Towers, but would I want to ride it on my visit? Absolutely. I would love to ride. I'd want to ride Galactica on my visit, because it's something quite unique to the UK. I mean, I know there's quite a few flying coasters in the world, but they're not absolutely common like inverted coasters or sit-down coasters or launch coasters, for example. They're not as common as those. So, yeah, I think hopefully Alton Towers will sit down and they'll look at it and they'll go, yeah, we need to sort this out. Because I mentioned this in my sort of general talk about Alton Towers. I think there are a few things around the park which I need to be sorted. And I know I think Alton Towers, I think this year it's been an up and down year. It's been a roller coaster of a year for them, and A lot of people saying it's been like one of Alton Towers' like worst years in like their history, and I really don't think that. I don't think that it's to go as far as that. I think Alton Towers has had. I think there has been really good points and there has been really bad points. Really good points, Curse and Subterra, and I think the bad points are having Hex and Skyride closed all season, and then letting these rides deteriorate to this point. I think is what has let them down ultimately, amongst other things. But I've discussed a lot of that in my other video. But yeah, Galactica, back onto Galactica. Let's hope Alton Towers does something with it. Let's do a retheme. Let's do a cleanup. Let's get this ride back to where it should have been in that original concept art, which I showed you earlier in the video. I'll put it up again. But yeah, we want to see that from Towers. If they can do it with Wicker Man, if they can do it with Nemesis, they can do it with Galactica, and we just have to hope they do. But yeah, let me know your opinions on Galactica and let me know if you've got any ideas of what you think they should do. If you haven't already, subscribe. It would be a big help to the channel if people could subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.